I have a bit of breaking news for you. Unfortunately, this time it's not good news. And to be quite honest with you, I'm pretty disappointed in Tesla and how this whole thing is shaping out. As you know, we just broke the news about MSRP caps being updated for Tesla, Ford, Volkswagen, General Motors, and it was good news. It was a great day. Fantastic news for those of you who are looking to get into a Model Y or a Mach E or an ID4. Those are now considered an SUV, which means the MSRP caps have risen from $55,000 all the way to $80,000. The reason why that's important is because in a Model Y, you have to get a five-seater and you only have $1,500 in options to stay under that $55,000 MSRP cap. That's no longer the case. It now has an $80,000 MSRP cap. And on its face value, that's good news. However, the downside to that is now Tesla has zero incentive to keep prices as low as they are. As a matter of fact, in our last video, I did say that had these MSRP caps not been set at $55,000 for the Model Y, I don't believe Tesla would have dropped prices as far as they did. They dropped it to $52,990. Of course, they raised it another $500, so $53,490 is what we were sitting at. This is just below that $55,000 MSRP cap, giving you that $1,500 to play with, meaning you can add one option to a five-seater Model Y. Of course, the seven-seater continued to be $80,000. Now, all of it gets an $80,000 MSRP cap. So, what is the incentive for Tesla to hold prices where they are? Well, this is where supply and demand becomes a tricky situation. On one hand, orders have clearly absolutely bombarded Tesla. If you look at the delivery time for a long-range Model Y, we're already into March through May, and it's only saying March right now. But if you are hoping to get one of these cars in March, it's going to be really tough, especially depending on where you live. Getting a car in March is really important for a very specific reason. As you know, at this point, the Secretary has not given guidance on battery critical minerals and battery components. Because of that, the way that the rules are working right now is all EVs that are assembled in North America and have at least a 5 kilowatt hour battery pack get up to $7,500 just for being assembled in North America. There's only three cars that don't get the full $7,500, and all three of them get at least $6,000. So the benefit is it doesn't matter where the battery comes from. You can get a battery directly from China and get the full $7,500 until the Secretary outlines their guidance. They have said that guidance will be coming sometime in March. We don't know if it's the beginning of March, middle of March, end of March. Timing will be important because once that guidance is released, now we have rules in place that are going to prevent cars from getting that full tax credit. There's a lot of questions right now aimed at Tesla in regards to their batteries. Of course, we know historically the standard range Model 3 has been getting its LFP battery from CATL in China, and CATL is the largest producer of LFP batteries in the world. In order for the standard range Model 3 to continue to qualify for that 7,500, those LFP batteries are going to have to be sourced from somewhere else. So if that battery is not sourced from components made primarily from North America and the critical minerals are not coming from compliant countries, it's not going to qualify. The good news is Long Range and Performance continue to get their batteries from Nevada, and there's a very good chance that it will qualify for the full 7,500. But whether it's the Model 3 or the Model Y, those 2170 batteries, we don't know enough about where the critical minerals are sourced from to know for sure if it'll get that 7,500. So right now, by taking delivery, you're guaranteed the 7,500. Once that guidance is provided, it could be cut in half, or in some cases, it could go away altogether. If you're not looking at a Tesla, there's a very high risk of losing all of the credit. So you get the picture here now, why this is so important. Why so many people are dumping their orders in right now. As soon as the 55,000 MSRP cap was increased to 80,000, orders absolutely went through the roof. A lot of you told me you were placing an order or you had already placed an order and were holding out hoping so. Do know if you already have an order in and you selected minimal options to be compliant, you can go in by logging into your account, changing your order configuration all online. You don't have to worry about anything. You won't lose your deposit or your place in line necessarily. And you can make those changes now. But for the rest of you, I'm very curious to know, were you planning on making an order and are you going to make an order today? because things are a little bit different than they were just a few hours ago. Unfortunately, Tesla did indeed increase prices. And this is where I'm a little disappointed because as quickly as we found out these MSRP caps are now $80,000, just a few hours later, Tesla increased prices on the Model Y. Now, they did also decrease prices on one particular trim, but let's go into that now. Starting at the Model 3, the standard range Model 3 for some reason went down $500. And one of the things I'm noticing here is the delivery time frame for the standard range and the performance Model 3 are both February to March. So it doesn't seem that there's been any major changes in order patterns for the Model 3. So it seems like there's probably no major issues with fulfilling demand. Over on the Model Y, it's a completely different story. The so-called standard range Model Y continues to be sold at $50,990, but the long range Model Y increased $1,500 in just a few hours and now starts at $54,990. The performance Model Y increased by $1,000. What was interesting was how many of you told me you were going to buy a long range Model Y, but you changed it to a performance after that MSRP cap increased $80,000. So it seems like the performance may be more popular than it has traditionally been. And it's a good way to get your car sooner because if you look at the delivery timelines, here's what we're looking at. The long range Model Y now starts March through May. So it has already been pushed back, and you're going to see this continue to get pushed back as orders continue to flow into Tesla. This is Tesla reacting to demand. Unfortunately, they're doing it very quickly, and I don't know what's going to happen next. Will these prices continue to go up? Will we see $7,500 in total increases by the time this is over? We're already at $2,000 at this point, $1,500 tonight and $500 not that long ago. So obviously we've got to keep a close eye on this, and we will be reporting out any of these price changes and any of these anomalies that continue to happen. I think keeping your eye set on March is going to be critical because whatever happens in March is going to determine how Tesla is going to respond. And Tesla has shown very clearly they are very interested in maintaining their eligibility for these tax credits. So whatever the implications are in March, that will have a major impact on what Tesla does moving forward. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this. I'm sorry that this is not great news, and unfortunately, this just happened so fast. I'm just disappointed, to say the least. I was trying to give Tesla the benefit of the doubt on our previous video, saying, yes, it does open up the door to potential increases, but surely Tesla is not going to go directly to that. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Tesla jumped right on board, got right in line, jacked prices up $1,500 and called it a day. Now Tesla has the demand to support it, so I guess who am I to say that they're wrong for doing this? It is a business. They're here for profit. That's what they're supposed to do, I suppose. So even though this was terrible news and this is not a good look for Tesla, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BeardedTesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.